Hey, just want to give a quick thank you and shout out to Not a Newbie Streams, aka just Not a Newbie, for not only being kind enough to allow me to come on stream, be interviewed, get to talk about everything that was discussed in the interview, but also thank him for allowing me to take the footage that he had edited down and allow me to use it for my own video. I thank you for that. The original link to this will be in the description below, along with all of Not a Newbie's channels. Go subscribe, he's a Giga Chad, and this video would not be possible without him. Anyway, enjoy the interview, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Reese's Pieces.
I'm about to interview Mr. Pizza. If you are familiar with Mr. Pizza, like if you spend any time on the Discord server at all, he's been a bread gangster for years. And he recently decided to completely change the direction of his YouTube channel, basically rebooting it from the ground up. He released a video talking about it. I reacted to the video, but now it's time to hear from the man himself about, what he's doing with his channel, how he hopes to move it forward, and where he sees the rest of his career on YouTube going. Hey, what's up?
B! What's
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great,
Let's see here.
You're doing some research stuff for a future video.
I see. That's cool.
Because I want to make a video, right? Like dissecting like how strong Naruto is now in the series.
Yeah.
So I'm going out of my way to research to try to find out actually how fast he is and everything.
So you're doing commentary type videos or video essays?
It's kind of like a video essay, kind of like a power scaling video, something like that, I guess you could say. But I'd say it's pretty good, being back on YouTube now.
That's awesome. So I guess one question I could ask is, you initially were doing YTP reactions. Now you're making, I guess, power ranking, I guess you're saying, the kind of video essay type stuff, but it's researching the levels of various characters, I think. Am I getting that right?
Well, the content is going to be variety, like usual, right? It's we're keeping the variety of content. Just the general goal is make sure that any video released is actually good and stuff like that,
Right.
So the content will still vary, obviously. Because because variety is good,
Yeah. So is there any sort of content creator that you sort of are looking at right now as, a source of inspiration for the content that you're making right now, as opposed to before when you were doing YTP reactions?
It depends on what type of video it is. So, how would I describe? So I recently the latest video I posted actually a gym vlog,
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of recording the gym footage and everything like that, I've taken inspiration from Sam Sulik. From kind of how the style of everything, how it's formatted, thumbnails, titles, all that kind of stuff. So in terms of gym vlogs, I've taken an influence from him. In terms of other content, if you check out the channel The World's Loudest Let's Play, that is a complete parody of Linuxo's World's Quietest Let's Play. So yeah, then you have I've also there's this Minecraft Naruto server that I play on that I plan to make content on, and kind of influenced by the creator of the server himself, Icy Man. Because there's lots of stuff that goes on, and gotta get part of that lore,
Yeah. That's cool. So it's you don't really have one person that you're trying to be like. You're sort of just making the type of content that you like to watch. Would that be accurate?
Honestly, yeah. I think that's a really good way to summarize that,
That's cool. And also kind of more talking about the contrast, right, between your old content and your new content. You've now, I think you explained this in your video because I reacted to it earlier.
Yeah, I did pop into the stream and I did see that.
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing that you're doing is you're not setting yourself up to have a very rigid or strict uploading schedule. Can you talk about how that has kind of like changed your workflow, and with, you know, not having that limitation of only so much time before the next upload, what that allows you to do in creating your content, and how that makes your content better. Because for some people, you know, they could just like, you know, use the extra time to make a longer video. It's the same quality. But for you specifically, like, how does that affect your content creation?
You know, that's a really good question. So I think that it is immensely helping out with a lot of things. Obviously, it really helps and with like not worrying about burnout and that kind of stuff. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
you know, not burning yourself up now out. You know, not overworking yourself and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I don't put YouTube first, basically. Obviously, so like when it comes to school, I do that first, and then afterwards I focus on health and, as you already know, weightlifting. You know,
Yep.
so I don't like it's like I don't like shorten my study time or my homework time or my gym time or anything just to make a video. I don't short.
Mm.
I don't, you know, just not hang out with friends to make, you know, YouTube videos either. Like,
Good.
obviously on weekends, like weekends are usually the best time I like to record content, but that's only like if I'm not like hanging out with friends or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Nice. That's good, because I do feel like a lot of people do struggle to have a good, it's not a job, but like work life balance when it comes to making content. So it is good that you kind of found a balance there. Have you found also though that like as you're making this content of higher quality, do you feel more tempted to sacrifice time in other areas, because either like you're so interested in the content that you're making, or you're obsessive over getting it like a high quality, or is the thing of you can relax because you know that you have all the time in the world to get the video looking the way you want it to?
A good question, because I can say something, maybe you could help determine that based off everything. So
Mhm.
you know how I said I was working on that like power scaling video, like trying to determine like how strong I personally think Naruto is after like losing his powers and everything like that.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna. I have a script working on it, and I just decided like on the school Chromebook, right, on Google Docs, to start like scripting it out throughout the day, because I'm just like, it just popped in my head.
Mhm.
Hey, let's do this. So I just kind of like, you know, anytime there's free time during class and all that kind of stuff, you know, or like during homeroom and stuff, I would like, you know, work on the script and everything, do some research, stuff like that, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's not that's not bad
Videos
though,
and
necessarily. Like, because
no, of course.
if it's like not really eating into like other parts of your life, you know, then
Right.
it's fine to be like, you know, doing stuff like that throughout the day, because everyone pretty much has dead time during various, you know, parts of the day, whether it's at school,
Yeah.
whether it's at work, whether it's, you know, even just like chilling at the house in between all of those things. And of course, if you're coming up with a creative idea, you know, you're on the right track having that Chromebook with you and the notes open, because
Yeah.
you want to
Because
get that idea down before you lose it.
in the like, and obviously like this is a video I definitely plan to like put out there. I don't know how long it's gonna take, because again, like I said, like when it comes to stuff like power scaling videos, when it comes to like anime and all that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
you know, research, you want to do your research and everything, and it does take time, because you know you got to analyze a lot of stuff that goes on, and you got to try to determine things.
Mm.
I'm a nerd when it comes to that stuff. So you know, yay.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, you described, because I'm gonna be honest, right? I am not at all familiar with power scaling videos at all. And I'm not like a huge anime fan. I have a sister who's getting me into it a little bit. I just finished Trigun Stampede season 1, but I'm not a huge anime buff. You mentioned that your speed run, not the speed run video, but the latest let's play video was inspired by Lennox O. Your gym vlog was inspired by Sam Selleck. I hope I'm saying it right. This upcoming video that you're working on, is that inspired by anyone in particular in like the power scaling community? Or is that like an idea that you just came up with and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna just run with this?
Well, it's like, obviously, like when it comes to people like that, I like to watch people like Naruto Explained and stuff like that. There's the other guy, maybe, creators like that, I like they do a lot of that power scaling type of stuff. They make like very good content. So like it's kind of like inspiration. And like obviously there are videos kind of like dissecting, trying to figure out how strong Naruto is now. But I feel like, why not make a video as well to add to that, to put your opinion out there? So, like, there's multiple different opinions. Because some people can be like, oh, well, he's still ungodly strong. Other people can be like, yeah, he sucks. So kind of having that balance of, like, all these different opinions that people can go and watch and kind of, like, it's like, hey, he did good,
Yeah, yeah. With all of those,
worst case scenario in all this, I get canceled, but we're not going to talk about that.
That's what I was about to say. Like, do you think there's a high risk that, first of all, Naruto is a very, very popular anime, so I think there's a potential.
It's one of the big three.
Yeah, yeah. So I think there's a potential for you to get a lot of eyeballs with this video. With that said,
that's true.
Yeah, but with that said, with extra viewers comes extra scrutiny. So do you think that it's possible that like you put out your video, right, with your own opinions, and you say that a lot of people have different opinions about power scaling in Naruto, that video goes out and you just get flamed, like you just get excoriated for your take on the power scaling of this anime?
Well, I mean, there's always that possibility, yeah, but at the end of the day, you can't really, like, it's kind of hard to argue with, like, actual, like, good research and stuff like that, It's not like I'm just popping on there just saying, like, yeah, he's still strong, nah, he sucks ass, It's not like that. No. When you go in and you have a genuine script,
right,
and you're, like, doing the research, trying to figure stuff out, and you're explaining, and you have your opinion here. Let's say, I mean, I might as well spoil some of it because you'll probably never watch it. But
yeah, sure. Go ahead. Go ahead. This is the one that has like 700 episodes, right? No, ain't no way I'm watching this.
Yeah. So it's like one of the powers Naruto had before he lost the Nine Tails was Six Path Sage Mode. And I guess kind of like a current debate, but not necessarily. Something went on is like, because does he still have it? Because he had all the other chakra from the other tailed beasts. And so there was half people thinking that he still had that power up, while others don't. I personally believe he doesn't still have that. And I went into and gave my explanation as to why. Like, I went back and like basically took quotes and stuff from like the actual anime itself, like evidence that supports my opinion, right?
Yeah.
So when you have evidence that is supporting your claims and your opinions, that's gonna, like, you might be able to, like, and still argue with you on that, but, like, they have to have at least a little bit of respect, because at least you're, like, trying to, like, back up what you're saying.
That is true. I will say
there's a difference between saying, just straight saying, oh, he doesn't have it, and providing no, like, evidence as to why you think that, opposed to, he doesn't have it, but this is why.
Yeah, I mean, while you're right, I will say that, like, you can make a video that is well-sourced, has a lot of research behind it, and at the end of the day, people are still looking at it, and they're like, no, you're wrong. And part of it might be them freaking out because they have a different opinion than you. But also, Naruto is an anime with hundreds of episodes, I think, if not thousands of episodes. And I think that you could probably cherry pick different quotes from the anime to come up with your own conclusions. Are you worried that you're going to have some sort of contentious debate and have to argue with these people with very strong opinions? Because, there are certain communities where people are extremely split and extremely polarizing. Some people are completely in the wrong about certain things, even in like of course I love going to the political realm because I love politics, but like you can look at like politics and stuff where on both sides, people have very strong opinions about things without having any sourcing. Is like the Naruto community like that, or are they more, I guess, rational and to the point where you feel safe, expressing an opinion and it falling on, even dissenting ears?
I mean, I feel like it kind of depends on how everything works, because every community, they have two sides, basically, it seems.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, and that kind of stuff, like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, whether or not, like, it gets good or bad reception depends. I mean, whether or not it gets past 10 views is obviously a discussion up for debate as well, I would like to argue.
That's
You
true. I
know,
mean, every single video
saying.
you've uploaded so far since the reboot has gotten more than 10 views.
I mean, that's true. It took some time. It does have more than 10 views. You are right about that.
Yeah.
But it kind of depends. I feel like, because like when I'm like scripting this out and everything, like I'm trying not to be biased, right?
Right.
Because obviously, yeah, Naruto is obviously one of my favorite characters, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not. But I'm trying to keep it logical about everything, right?
Right.
You know, trying not to be biased about everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe that might be maybe one of the not the best routes to take, because obviously, like, I feel like people, like, especially when it comes to the Boruto series, right?
Mm-hmm.
People that still fanboy over Naruto like crazy, they are going to be like, they're gonna basically want you to give him nothing but praise and say he's still the strongest, right? So
Probably,
having
yeah.
having an unbiased outlook on things and genuinely like going over everything might, strike up something. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter,
Yeah. Well, I guess, how much do you care about the reception to your videos? Like, do you make a video and you're like, man, I hope this video performs well? And do you care if your video not just does well, but has a positive reception? Like, if you release a video and get a lot of criticism in the comments, do you get upset about that? Do you get mad? How does your just like reaction to other people's reactions to you kind of like affect you as a human being, and then, also as like a content creator, and how you respond?
Obviously, like, when it comes to like making content, right? Obviously, like, you always want to go in with that expectation that it's going to do well, right?
Right.
I'm trying my hardest to not put my expectations up very high, just because, like, I know content, like, it doesn't do well at first, obviously. Any video I post on the channel is going to be stuck at 10 views for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it could take quite a while before it reaches 20, maybe 60, maybe 100. It can take quite a while. And again, when you transition from communities, right, obviously, like, it takes time for everything to readjust, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like, leaving the YTP community, obviously, like, definitely put, like, in terms of views, right, it definitely, like, really hampered the channel a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, it doesn't mean that it's not gonna go anywhere. Like,
right.
Part of me wants to have that expectation that this video is doing, like, very well, because I'm putting a lot of effort into it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm trying to not think about how well it's gonna do. I try to, like, not look at the views constantly to see how well it's doing. I just want to, at the end of the day, make the content, and if I had fun making it, that's what I want. I want to ensure that I'm simply enjoying the content I'm putting out there, right?
Yeah. So does that mean that you don't really read the comments that people put on your videos?
Well, first off, what comments?
Well, I mean, hey, I watched your initial logic video. You got one comment there, so like, it's not like you're getting zero comments at all.
But you get I mean, yeah, I know. Like, I read comments and stuff. I'll heart comments. I'll respond to comments. It obviously it depends. I mean, if it's just like a typical comment, like, "Hey, good video," "Hey, nice,"
Yeah.
I've never gotten like criticism, I don't think, which is surprising. But I mean, obviously, the only comments I ignore are the freaking random bozos from the YTP community that just pop up being like, "Yeah, you need to get a life," and all that stuff.
They're saying that? Where are they saying that? Is that in the comment section for your videos, or is that like in your community tab?
Okay, if I go back to my notifications, it is like probably a week ago, but I think it still might be there from a notification. Some bozo left one of the funniest comments out there. Actually, I'll find it quicker. If I go to, let's see, your private and content, because it's from one of those. If I go to that, I think I remember exactly what video it was. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it was this one. Unless it's not there anymore. I'm not too sure. I don't know how, like, that. I don't know if YouTube saves all that kind of stuff or not. But it was I can still, I'll look for it, but I can basically summarize it for you.
Yeah, please do.
Basically, some person, I think it was either one of my update videos or a reaction video, something like that, right?
Right.
It was saying stuff like, yeah, you know, you need to get out and touch grass or something instead of making content like this.
You're doing workout vlogs. What?
This was before we started that, but still.
I mean, like, these aren't the people watching your YTP reactions who are mad that you're not doing YTP reactions and then also ironically telling you to go out and touch grass.
Oh, well, actually, no. This bozo. There's this one bozo from 2 weeks ago that left a comment. Low-key really funny. I deleted the comment, but I still have it in the notifications, and this was from on the Fresh Start video, right? The one that you checked out.
Yeah.
First off, get this. This guy's channel name is Zach, king of all YouTubers.
That's the name of his channel?
Let that sink in for a second. He said, well, don't private all your content, otherwise you will lose money in getting your channel removed. First off, one, we don't make money from the channel. Two, just because you're not monetizing a channel does not mean it's gonna get removed. Just remember, this is from the king of YouTubers, so you know he knows what he's talking about. Obviously.
Right.
Yeah, well, like it's still the weird occasional bozos that comment, you know.
Yeah. It actually brings me to a question that I had when I was watching your video, which is, why did you decide to private your videos instead of unlisting them so that the people who like your old reactions could still go back and watch those?
Well, as I stated in that video, right? I privated all of it because I wasn't proud of it. And then two, privating that also means that it basically makes sure the YTP community doesn't have an excuse to stay on the channel. And
so you want them gone?
Yeah. So here's like, unlisted content, will it hit the algorithm? No.
Right.
But if you want people focusing on what you are currently posting, right? You know, you gotta make sure that stuff not visible, right?
Yeah.
And again, and then I just wasn't proud of it going back, you know. And if you're not proud of your content, why keep it up, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, if you wanted to get rid of all of your old followers and stuff, why did you just make a fresh new channel rather than hoping that, you know, the people that hate you will unsubscribe from your current channel? Because I understand, if you feel like your new content is so high quality that the people who subscribe to your early content will enjoy the content that you're posting now. But if you feel like that's not the case, then it makes it harder for me to see the argument for continuing to post in the same channel. You know what I mean?
Well, first off, even if it's not a lot, the main channel still gets views, right? It still gets more views, even if it's just 10 views. 10 views on something is better than trying to get something on a brand new channel with no traction and no data for YouTube to collect or anything, right?
Right.
Also, it's kind of hard to create a new channel when you can only verify a channel with one phone number once a year or twice a year. So and I only have one phone. I don't have no burner phones or something like that. and people used to be able to just look up, you know, temporary messaging things, but that doesn't work anymore. YouTube cracked down on that, and that no longer works.
Right.
So obviously, not having a way to verify a channel, and if you can't verify a channel, you know, that's not good because you can't make thumbnails. Your video has to be under 15 minutes, all that kind of stuff, and it's no fun.
Yeah, that's
And also, I can tell just by looking at the channel right now that the gym vlog in 3 days got 63 views. That's not bad. Obviously, that's not bad. That's actually pretty good. So, it goes to show that there's that one video that's going to do better than the others, obviously. You just got to make the content you're enjoying making, and you're going to see something click eventually, you know?
Yeah. Are you open to, because right now you're making variety content, you're experimenting with different things.
Right.
Are you open to eventually be like committing to a niche? So eventually being like, okay, I am the workout vlogger, or I am the power ranking anime YouTuber. Like is that something that you're open to in the future, or do you want to kind of commit to making a variety of different types of content? And then just whoever likes the videos likes the videos.
I will most likely stick with the variety because when you niche down, right, that would be like, even if you're niching down to something else, unfortunately, niching down means this. You get stuck into that one infinite loop of making one type of content over and over and over and over again.
But
and
what if you enjoy making that content, though?
But the thing is, like, some people do that. They enjoy it.
Right.
But, and that's fine, obviously. But at the end of the day, it becomes time consuming. It gets boring after a while. Like, here's the thing, like, okay, you could be a Minecraft YouTuber, for example, right?
Right.
But are you really gonna want to like make only Minecraft videos for like a decade straight? No. I know Dan TDM did. I know, no, I get like people like Dan TDM did that and everything, but like they've completely changed. They make different types of content now because they're not niching to it anymore. Because the thing niching, and I feel like niching down to one type of thing actually burns you out quicker than if you're doing variety content. Because with variety, right, well, you're making all types of different stuff. You don't really feel the burnout right away because it's like, sure, you're making the video, it takes time to make, but you're making it on stuff you enjoy. And you're not like staying stuck in that one spot. Like, and niching down, it's like, I've already done it before. It was called the YTP reaction phase, where we niche down to that. So, the whole point of changing the direction is to not niche down into something. Keep it variety, keep it fun,
Yeah, and while I see where you're coming from, at the same time, like, I've seen people get a lot of success from niching down. Like, one really good example is the commentary community.
Right.
Like Pyro Live, Penguin Zero, Mogul Mail. They all make the same types of video over and over and over again, with the exception of Mogul Mail. These videos are constant. These videos are consistent. And these people go to their channels because they know that they're going to get a specific type of video. And, I think that there is something to be said for the success that you can get from nailing down a niche. At the same time, I completely agree that with what you're saying, that you can get burnt out. But at the same time, if you enjoy making that content, I don't know how burnt out you can be. I don't know how many like baseball players are burnt out from playing baseball in 5 years in the MLB because it's what they enjoy doing. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I mean, obviously, I'm not bad boy Charles White, obviously. So
what does that mean?
Okay, so Penguin Zero, Voice Critical. Well, I made him in WWE, and I called him Bad Boy Charles White.
Oh, I see.
So he's Bad Boy Charles White now. So the thing with him is, like, he niches into one thing. Obviously, the commentary style stuff still makes great content, in my opinion. But I feel like the thing with Voice Critical, right?
Yeah.
What we look at with him is, right, he grew, his channel is successful. And it grew to success. But why it grew to success wasn't necessarily because, he niched down to gaming. He niched down to commentary on popular things. No. See, the thing is, what made Voice Critical grow, what makes him stand out, right? It's his humor and everything. His voice, his monotone voice, his incredibly dry humor and stuff like that. That's what made people fall in love with him. That's what made people really flock to him. He was different in the sense that he's literally just being himself. And that's what made him successful. Don't get me wrong, he still does incredibly well for his videos now. But you get the point. Like, he became successful because he was just, being him,
I mean, But if
So I feel like, honestly, the thing is, like, when I watch Moist Critical, right, I don't even really care about most of the topics he talks about. I just like to listen to the guy speak because he's always gonna crack out some dirty joke and everything and make everyone laugh. I watch him because, like, I think he's hilarious. I don't necessarily watch him because, yeah, you talking about the news and everything like that. Like, no.
Like, yeah, let's watch this video about a shooting.
Yeah, let's watch him talk about Donald Trump. But, like, yeah, you get the point.
Yeah, and that does make sense because you do have to differentiate yourself on that degree when you're in like a field that's so saturated.
Right.
You know, like I'm trying to think of like, okay, like a really good example is, I think his name is Sleepy. Sleepy?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're a smaller content creator, then I feel like you still kind of need something unique about yourself to stand out. So Sleepy is a really good example of he makes commentary videos that I think are probably more along the lines of like what you would see from like Tom Dark or like the Turkey Tom or like a Cheeto than someone like Pyro Live or Mogo Mail. But what sets him apart is like the way that his camera's set up, the lighting in his room. You almost feel like you're watching like an A24 produced video essay when it's really just a commentary video, which is like really, really cool. There was also Ween, who I know that he deleted all of those videos basically because some of them were I guess like kind of edgy. They certainly weren't like pro like current thing. There was like a lot of what many viewers would consider to be controversial opinions that he espoused in them.
I thought they were gonna be like super racist or something. No,
not racist, but like they certainly run afoul of, say, like current gender politics, for example. But he stood out because he would make jokes kind of like Penguin Zero, but also he would just like stand awkwardly in a room holding like a microphone and just like talk, like eating it, like talking like real closely like with it to his mouth. And like that just sort of like quirky content really stood out to me. So I do feel like if you're making content that's like in a category that's heavily saturated, you're gonna need to differentiate yourself like in some sort of way. Do you feel like a pressure right now to figure out what that unique spark is about you that can differentiate yourself from others? Or like for now, are you focused on, let's make the next video better than the last video? Let's like produce increase the content increase the quality of the content that I'm making. Like, is that more of your mind frame?
See, I'm mostly focused on, well, one, increasing the quality of content, right? Obviously. But other than that, I just like make what I find fun to make, right? And that's kind of just how I go into it. Like, if I like making gym vlogs, I'm gonna make them.
Yeah.
If I like doing this, I'm gonna do that. If I like, let's say I like reacting to certain things, I'll probably still do that. It's basically just like making content based off what I like to do and like what I want to do. So I feel like I'm already like kind of like, making myself stand out in that sense, where my way of standing out is just to make whatever content I want, be myself, and just have fun with it. I just want to, I guess the best way to put it is I just want to be someone known as having fun. I just want to have fun with it, That's kind of how I see it. So in terms of niching down and stuff like that, like, I mean, could it be fun? Maybe, but it depends. Like, and now let's say the video I'm working on, that power scaling video, right? Now let's say it does incredibly well. Would it want to tempt you to like maybe move more towards that route because it did well? Absolutely. Obviously, when you see something do much better than your other stuff, it's just like, hey, this is actually going somewhere. Maybe I should focus on this.
Yeah.
But then I also have to look at it. It's just like, if this power scaling video does well, do I really want to spend weeks and weeks just like researching and talking about this, talking about that, like no-lifing more to watch other anime to cover stuff that they want covered and stuff like that? It's like, is that really something you want to devote more time to? You kind of got to stop and think, like, okay, niching is fun, but do I really want to, devote more time to that and keep going with it?
That's a good
That's
point.
kind of how I. That's kind of how I look at it. At least just for me.
Yeah, that's a good point. And it's interesting because you kind of speaking to how the content that you're making right now is the stuff that you enjoy making. And
Right.
from what I remember from, kind of your journey to where you were before you reset the channel, you kind
Right.
of were losing motivation to keep making content. It seemed like you weren't having fun making those YTP reactions. What is it about the videos that you're making now that motivates you more to make new content than those YTP reactions? Like, did you find the YTP reactions laborious or just uninventive or monotonous to make over and over again?
YTP reactions certainly got boring to make, obviously.
Mhm.
Sure, I mean, yes, it's simple. You might be like, oh, why not react to it? You just gotta sit and laugh at a video for a few minutes. That's all you gotta do, right? Well, but at the end of the day, like, it got boring, it got stale, it got repetitive. Obviously, I hate the YTP community. That's another reason.
Right.
But to also understand, right, it's like, my reactions were getting stale. And it was more like stone-faced reactions than ha ha, because as something you kind of stated with YTP, and because of something that you've stated with YTP before, it's like it can be funny if the humor is done right, but once you like start to see a few of them, you've pretty much seen them all, because unless you can find a rare YTP creator that thinks outside of the box, it does a completely different style. Because there's different genres of YTP. You have the typical, what's considered funny ones.
Yeah.
You have Hellion Hero, who got terminated.
So
who got
considered, to be humorous.
We got Hellion Hero, obviously, who was terminated. We'll talk more about that another time. And then you have, like, other people. Like, there's different styles of YTP, like horror. People focus solely off of horror with YTP. So it's like, so people, like, you can be very creative with it, basically.
Right.
And you can make it different. And you can argue, like, well, why didn't you just start to react to different types of YTPs? Well, again, we kind of hate the community and all that kind of stuff. But, like, I was ready to move on.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there comes a time for every creator, right, where you're ready to move on to something different. And I mean, there's like literally like people who used to do Minecraft content were incredibly successful, got millions of subscribers, and then completely abandoned those channels and moved on to like being like finance influencers and stuff like that, going under their real name and all that kind of stuff like that. So like
True.
And it's not an uncommon occurrence, I mean, it just be that way sometimes, Once you get bored of something, you want to move on to it.
Yeah.
And and the thing for me is, I thought was just like, I guess I just kind of thought at the time when I wasn't motivated to make content was like, I'm not having fun anymore making content, therefore I just gotta quit. But it's like, the more you think about it, it's just like, am I not having fun because of the content I'm making now? Or do I just not like to make content anymore in general? Because obviously, like, once I started coming up with ideas and everything of stuff I wanted to do, it's just like, I think I still got something left to offer before I quit, I think there's something left to offer. So we moved into a different direction.
Yeah, that's cool. And kind of like talking about that motivation. And I touched on this in my reaction to your video. I remember it being a big thing because you had this big goal when you started doing YouTube content, which was to get 1,000 subscribers.
Right.
And then you got 1,000 subscribers. And then after that, it looked like your motivation really plummeted. Like you would quit YouTube and you would come back and then you would quit again, like all for like the same types of reasons. And when you quit for the final time, but well, I guess not final because you came back, right? But like the last time you quit, you were like, well, I no longer have motivation because my goal was to hit 1,000 subscribers. And I already did that, so I feel like there's no need for me to continue with my channel. It's basically what you said. I'm paraphrasing. How does it feel now to have a completely different thesis statement for your channel, which is not at all tied to success, right? No numbers games, right? Like not a certain amount of views on each video, not a certain amount of likes, not a certain like-dislike ratio, not a certain amount of subscribers, but it's literally just you trying to make content that you enjoy making and enjoy watching. How has that kind of like helped you stay motivated in making the channel? Because I've talked on this stream and on this channel, I think multiple times before, about why it's important to not necessarily have numbers be your motivation, because that could really send things crashing down. But I'd like to hear like your side of that whole topic.
See, I mean, you bring up great points there, obviously. So I feel like, I guess if I look back on it now, I definitely could say like not having a goal beyond 1,000 subscribers, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a way, kind of, took the motivation away a little bit. I feel like, not really having that overall goal to work towards a different number now.
Right.
And it's just like, and I guess like, because you were right, I did have that kind of mindset where it's just like, well, I hit 1,000 subscribers. I feel like I've done everything I've wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any reason to keep going? It's just like, okay, did I make content? Yes. Did I have fun? Yes. Did I reach that goal of 1,000 subscribers? Yes. Did I meet people? Yep. Did I create a community? You bet you. Did I make great friends out of it? You damn right I did. So it's just like, is there really any reason to keep going?
Yeah. That's a good point.
I feel like I should have always, I get, and what's changed now is that I just have a different outlook on things. Like I'm just coming up with ideas and making content now that I actually enjoy making, and it's just like, and that's just motivating me to keep going, because now, like, kind of like you said, don't focus on the numbers. I'm trying not to focus with those like numbers and the ratios of everything now.
Good.
Because like you said, when you base your channel, so if your motivation is solely based off numbers, because let's just say a video out of nowhere got 2 million views, right? And your
Right.
and your motivation now is, oh my god, the numbers, I gotta keep going. When that 2 million drops down to 1 million, then down, and then down again, and then pretty soon down into like, just the normal thousands, maybe the double-digit thousands, right? Then you just really start to get demotivated, because it's just like, man, I used to get 2 million views. What's going on now?
Yeah.
And then you get unmotivated, and then you don't want to do it no more because you just don't feel like there's a reason to,
Yeah. Yeah, that's also a good point. I guess kind of like to wrap things up, I do have like a few other questions. The first one is,
all right,
where do you see your channel going forward? Kind of like with its trajectory. I guess it's a little bit oxymoronic for me to ask you this question, considering the fact that you're saying you're not chasing numbers. But like, do you think that with this carefree attitude and this emphasis on quality of content, that you'll be able to grow the amount of subscribers you have significantly beyond that like 1K subscriber mark?
Question. I feel like as of right now, that's kind of up for debate. Because we just started fresh this month, like mid February, right?
Yeah.
And we're already ending February, which is absolutely crazy. Time really flies. So
it does.
And we only have 4 new videos released. Well, I say 4 new videos. It's like going back, there was like a couple videos before I privated everything that were still good. Like the last 2 videos I did with Linuxo, before I'm bringing those back. Like I brought back the Outlast Trials speedrun video that we did, and then and then sometime over the weekend I'm gonna re-upload the Fortnite video we did, because those videos were fun, and he helped kind of convince me that those videos were actually fun. They were actually good. We had a good time with it. You should keep those. So we'll bring those back, obviously. So is it kind of like filler content to work on other stuff? Kind of, but not really, because like it's actually good, and it's just something that we can re-put out there,
Yeah.
But in terms of in terms of numbers in the future, we'll just have to kind of see throughout the next few months kind of where the channel goes, because starting in March, right, I really want to make like frequent workout content, right?
Yeah.
Like I wanted to start in mid-February, right? Well, literally a few days ago I wanted to start with that, but you know, trying to like keep up with it, trying to find that time that's going to work for it.
Yeah, that can be
Because
difficult.
I feel like I feel like what I want to do, starting next week at least, is kind of like tone it down a little bit with working out, like in a way, like I like to work out 6 days a week, right?
Yeah.
My goal is to try to get my muscle groups like weight trained like 2 times a week with like super high volume stuff to it, but like it's pretty taxing. Like I just noticed that today, like, whoa, this is really taxing, because
yeah, like you're working out every day.
Because Monday, right, it was chest, shoulders, and triceps. I hit like 3-4 things per chest and shoulders and triceps, and today, being Thursday, was chest, shoulder, triceps again. And then trying to do that same thing again is just like, whoa, okay, hold on, this is a bit much. I feel like I probably see more muscle growth if I take those days off as well.
Yes,
Like,
I'm about to say.
Like starting next week Monday, I could do chest, shoulders, and triceps. I can do like 4 or 5 things per thing if I want to, right? But then take Tuesday off, then Wednesday's the next muscle group, take a day off, and Friday's the next, then Sunday, and then it just repeats. So every single week they correlate with each other to what will happen to what. Therefore, you're getting plenty of like rest in between, giving your muscles those times to relax and recover and to actually grow. You can train 6 days a week if you really want to, but the more time you have in between training it will further result. And I feel like I also noticed something, right, where when I was training my muscle groups once per week, I felt like I was able to do progressive overload and add more weight to it a lot better. But then when I started switching to 2 times a week, it's kind of like that stuck, right? Like I had managed to get my bench press up to 110 pounds, right? And it's been stuck like that for weeks now, because I've been trying to do 2 times a week, and I feel like maybe if I go back to once a week, I could further increase that bench press. Because honestly, I'd love to hit over 300 pounds on a bench press. Not gonna lie.
That would be cool.
Like I want to really like power that up, and I feel like if if I'm straining it too much, trying to train it too much, it's because I thought like, oh, maybe if I just train them twice a week, I'll get more gains with it. Therefore, training it means I'm going to get better at it. Therefore, I can just add more weight next week. Unfortunately, that's just not how that works.
Nah.
I just like general, like I've just gotten so used to working out, like I love to do it. It's like, it feels weird taking those off days. But at the same time, I can look at those off days as something good, like, hey, I can make some content now. Hey, I actually have some more free time to do some other stuff I want to do.
Yeah. That's
so
good.
I can look at it that way.
Yeah.
And be like, take a fucking day off, dude. I mean, pretty much you're getting your cardio in every day just going by schools.
Yeah.
And like I could do like those heavyweight training days, and then I could still swim afterwards and everything, and do that multiple times, and keep it going.
You do training and then swimming on the same day?
Yeah, I because I do like weightlifting, and then I end my training off with like yeah, so it's like
that's like Chad level stuff, because it is literally, swimming is fatiguing, right? Like I'll go on a vacation, I'll swim in the hotel pool for like an hour, then I'll like be like, oh, why am I so sleepy? And I'll fall asleep to some like Hallmark movie on like TV in like 2 seconds. So like like swimming can knock me out. So it's very impressive that you are able to train and work out, and then in the very same day like go and swim without having any issue.
Right, so it's like my so like example, right? Chest, shoulders, and triceps. I can just hit like. Actually, I think a better example would probably be back and biceps. That day has the most volume out of all the training days, because let's see here. It was the other day. yesterday actually. Was it? No, it was Tuesday. It was Tuesday,
Tuesday?
right? For back and biceps. For back, I trained 8 things for back. I did 8 different workouts for back. 3 sets of 8 to 12.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and we're talking like we're not going super light either. Like I'm lifting as heavy as I possibly can lift. You know?
Oh wow, you're doing your max.
I'm lifting how much I can currently like rep out, right? So
Wow.
like with like the barbell row, that's at I believe 110 pounds, right? I hit those 8 reps. It's just like, and then I started throwing in the partial reps to get to 12. You know, really just adding to it. And then I only did one thing for biceps because the thing with back and biceps is so many of those other like workouts with it, right? Let's see here. It also kind of targets your biceps and it kind of gets them like pumped up a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
So that way, by the end of it, you only have to really do one thing for biceps, and then your biceps will feel it the next day.
That's cool. That's cool.
And I feel like when it comes to gym training, you know, I mean, yeah, it's just like do 8 things for back, do a thing for biceps, and then still hit the pool for a half hour to get my cardio in.
Yo.
Because, you know, when it comes to like working on stuff like that, there's no, you know, honestly, lifting the weights and then doing some cardio afterwards for like good 15 to 30 minutes afterwards, it's obviously good for the heart and everything, and it helps. And that cardio, like, it helps tone your body and it gives you good muscle tone as well. Not to mention, it works with muscular endurance, which therefore your muscles can handle heavier loads of weight. Therefore, you know.
So it all works together.
Yep.
That's cool. All right. Yeah. So just a couple other things. One question that I had, perhaps this is a selfish question. You're the guy with the successful or relatively successful channel here. So what tips would you give me to improve my channels? I've got the live streaming channel, which is Notanewbie Streams, where I do my live streams. I actually have more subscribers there than on Notanewbie Highlights, which has always surprised me that I get more views and subscribers on the live streaming channel than on the Highlights channel, considering the fact that the Highlights channel is clips from my streams that are edited to kind of form one video. And I upload videos 3 times a week, once at noon on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But the videos have not really gained much traction. I understand that like my content's very political, so there might be some level of throttling there, but at the same time, like, do you think that there's anything in particular, if you just like glance at my YouTube channel, you're like, nah, this homie's doing this wrong? Like, is there anything like that that like jumps out to you about either the Notanewbie Streams or the Notanewbie Highlights channel?
And at the end of the day, more or less just kind of depends on everything, you know?
Yeah.
Because, well, it's like the way I would see it is like, you know, it's actually a good question because I'm like looking through it now and everything, and I can kind of see what you mean. Like, are you like seeing how like the views aren't doing too well and stuff like that?
Well, yeah, like the views have never been like that great.
Oh yeah, there was a video from 3 weeks ago with 0 views. So. I have a very simple solution. You're gonna love it.
What would that solution be?
Just make better content, bro. Come on, man. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
No, man, in all seriousness, like, I'd say just keep doing what you enjoy doing, basically. Because the way I see it, like, the Highlights channel has had its moments, definitely. There's definitely some stuff where, hey, that actually did pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other moments where it's just like, why does this have 0 views still? It just kind of depends. And, I mean, political stuff is definitely, like, I feel like maybe, I don't know, I feel like maybe the political stuff might be kind of the issue just a little bit. And that's just because, like, obviously, yeah, you cover things, like, you try to get things out as soon as it happens, right?
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing is, like, I just feel like it's your timing with it, basically. Where it's basically like you're kind of late to it. It's like you're not late to it, but you're late to it in terms of a YouTube sense, because you got to kind of factor in and figure, okay, well, this just happened with Donald Trump today. I'm going to cover it. Okay, but you might be like, but it's just like, why should somebody watch Not a Newbie highlights video talking about the thing Donald Trump just did when David Pakman just posted it and he has a bigger following and people know him better? So what's stopping me from just watching David Pakman instead of Not a Newbie? You like, it's basically the whole thing. Like, you gotta kind of stand out.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I guess people would have to know who I am before being interested in my political takes about something. So that does make a lot of sense.
Right. Like, obviously, like, you get the point. Like, most people are gonna, like, if you talk about Trump, I mean, Pakman talks about Trump, people are gonna go to Pakman, obviously, because I mean, the dude posts like 10 times a day, if not more.
Well, it's not like, that, but he has established political acumen, like among the left wing. Like, I'm a right winger, so like, you know, his content isn't exactly my cup of tea, but at least I can respect the fact that he's been in the space in a while. He's survived, you know, a lot of like downturns in left wing content creation, and he still found a way to come out the other side respected and well regarded in his political circle.
Right.
That's something that you can't really point to me and be like, yeah, he's done that.
Right. So it's basically like, you know, just kind of standing out, essentially.
Yeah.
Because the political scene is like, it's very like saturated, basically. And it's not that like having a ton of saturation for stuff is necessarily bad, but when there's so much saturated content, especially when it comes to politics, like, people are posting like every minute about what's going on in the political world, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Trying to compete with that, like, you know, even if you're just like a half hour late to something, it's most likely not gonna do too well, because somebody, like, people within that half hour time, there's probably like 100 people that have already talked about it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they're just like, yeah, it's just that, like, I there are some videos that, like, I just, it's like the video about Blau's take on incest, right? Like,
I
wish that had more views, because I had a big point to make about, like, moral relativism. But I guess that, again, that's not the type of thing that I think would make people.
Doesn't have. Yeah, I was right. It had 3 views.
Yeah.
3 views.
But I did find it funny. I think I will always find this funny. That and this is 3 weeks ago. I uploaded a video called "Is America About to Have Civil War II Over the Texas Border?" And the thumbnail is me looking somewhat concerned at, like, a state of the map of the United States, and like 3 question marks, and that got 35 views. And then, like, 5 days later, when, like, kind of the story started to become, oh yeah, like, you know, the Border Patrol said they're not gonna fight Greg Abbott, then I made a video with a thumbnail that has me smiling, and it says "marked safe from Civil War today." And that one has like 5 views. So there's also something to the fact that, like, I don't always have, like, the most sensational titles, and I'm not like a fear mongerer. Like, you'll see me get mad about things, but it'll be like about, like, the mainstream media, like, fomenting rage bait through, like, you know, like the Sky News censorship video, for example. But I think you do make a good point that, like, people aren't really going to care about my content because they don't know who I am, and it takes about things where you're not going to want to hear the opinion of a stranger. You want to hear from someone that you trust. Right. Yeah. Well, you know, I'm kind of running out of time here. I appreciate your input on my channel. That was actually some really good advice. And, you know, I do also love your transparency with where you're going with your channel, because it helps make it easier and I think a little bit more fun to follow your journey as you, like, continue on your, like, YouTube content creation career, as it were. So for those of us who are, for those of you guys who are viewing, why don't you let everyone know where people can find you? I did notice in your bio on your YouTube channel that you have a Twitch. So I guess you stream on Twitch under Mr. Pizza Raccoon, right?
No, it just kind of exists.
But yeah, no, yeah, for real though. Like, where can people find you so that they can like follow your channels, follow your discords and all that stuff, and follow your journey as well?
Yeah, honestly, just stick it to the main channel, you know?
Cool.
That's where everything's gonna be, basically.
Cool. Mr. Pizza, no crazy link or anything? I
Link
do
in
know
the
that the at on YouTube is at Mr. Pizza Sus. So if you want to find that specifically, you can use that.
Sus.
Yeah, Sus. S-U-S. All right, Mr. Pizza.
I should change the tag to Big Milkers or something.
No. You've already said Mr. Pizza Sus. So we can leave it like that for at least a little while.
I want to change it now. Hold on. Wait, hold on. I gotta.
All right.
This.
Well, when I upload this, you can leave a comment, or if you want, you can just rip this whole interview and put it on your channel.
I mean, if you're cool with me doing that, then absolutely, man.
Yeah, anyone's appearance on my stream, they can take and put on their own content.
That's it. The new handle is gonna be Big Milker.
Oh, come on.
We're talking about milk jugs, by the way, just to let you know.
Man, keep that. Okay. All right. Anyways, thanks for popping onto the stream and coming on the channel and talking about your channel. It's really interesting.
All right.
I'll see you around.
All right. I'll see you, man.
All right, it's very cool. That was the content creator, Mr. Pizza, who has a YouTube channel. You can follow him on YouTube at Mr. Pizza Sus, I believe, until he changes it to like, I don't know, whatever he was. He said he was going to change it to. He's also got a Twitch channel that just exists. So yeah, very, very cool to have him on the channel. Really great to hear his insights on his mindset towards content creation. So yeah, I look forward to seeing what he ends up doing in the future. Very, very cool stuff.